So, AI in software development, it's all anyone can talk about, right? The promise is huge. Perfect, instant code, just like that. But what happens when you look past all the hype? What's actually going on? Let's dig in.
Yeah, this is the big one. Is AI just a better coder than a person? Can an algorithm really beat years of human experience? Well, the answer might surprise you. It is definitely not a simple yes or no.
I mean, the appeal is obvious, right? Who wouldn't want faster, cheaper development and perfect code every single time? But, a recent report from a company called CodeRabbit decided to actually look at the data and, well, they found a pretty big gap between the promise and reality.
All right, so let's jump right into the evidence. This CodeRabbit report really puts that idea of a flawless AI coder to the test. And honestly, the numbers? They're pretty shocking. So it's kind of like this epic showdown. In one corner, you've got AI, promising to do things at lightning speed. And in the other corner, you have human developers with all their experience and, their ability to understand the why behind the code. The report basically threw them into the ring together to see who came out on top.
And wow, this chart says it all. They looked at almost 500 pull requests. And for anyone who doesn't know, a pull request is just when a developer submits new code to be added to a project. And the difference was, well, it was huge. The code that had AI's help had way more issues. We're talking everything from simple logic mistakes to things that would really slow a program down.
So let's get specific. Look at this number. On average, the AI-assisted code had almost 11 issues per pull request. 11! That is a ton of cleanup work for a human developer to deal with later. Now compare that to the code written only by humans. Just a little over 6 issues. The difference is it's massive. It's pretty clear that when you're talking about quality and just writing reliable code, humans are still way out in front. So here's the bottom line. When you crunch the numbers, using AI meant dealing with 1.7 times more problems. Yeah, the AI's fast for sure, but that speed has real cost, right? It means more bugs, which means more time spent fixing things later on. Okay, but the story doesn't end there. Because it's not just about how many bugs there are. It's about what kind of bugs they are. And this is where things get really serious, especially when we start talking about security.
Yeah, we're not talking about small stuff here. The report found that major security flaws showed up almost twice as often in AI code. I'm talking about huge risks. Things like messing up how passwords are handled or leaving a door wide open for hackers. The consequences for that kind of mistake can be massive.
So why is this happening? This quote really nails it. See, these AI tools learn from tons and tons of code that's already out there on the internet. But what if that code is old and has security holes? Well, the AI has no idea. It doesn't have judgment. It just copies the patterns it sees, weaknesses and all, and bakes those same vulnerabilities right into the new stuff it's writing.
And it gets even trickier. On top of the immediate bugs and security holes, there's this other problem. It's a sneaky, long-term thing that developers call technical debt. If you've never heard that term, think of it like this. Technical debt is the cost of taking a shortcut now that you'll have to pay back later with interest. It's all the extra work you create for your future self because you rush things instead of doing them the right way. And this is where AI can really add to that debt. It might spit out some code that seems to work fine at first, but a lot of the time it's super complex or written in a really bizarre way. So fast forward a few months, a human has to go in and make a change, and they just can't figure out what the heck the AI was thinking. What should have been a quick fix turns into a huge headache.
Okay, so after all that, you might be thinking, should we just ditch AI tools altogether? And the answer is a definite no. This data isn't saying AI is bad, it's saying we need to be smarter about how we use it. This is all about partnership, not about replacing people.
I love this analogy. It's perfect. Think of AI as the super smart, super eager junior developer. It's crazy fast. It's got a million ideas, but it has zero real-world experience. It doesn't have that gut feeling or the cautious approach that a senior developer has. It absolutely needs that experienced oversight to keep it on the right track. So the real path forward is to get the best of both worlds, right? Let the AI do what it's great at, drafting code super fast, taking care of boring repetitive stuff. But, and this is the critical part, you always have to have a human check its work. A human review isn't slowing things down, it's just basic quality control. It's about making a conscious choice. We want good, secure code, not just fast code. And that really brings us back to the big question. In a world where AI can write code, what's the true value of a human coder?
Well, if this data tells us anything, it's that the value is in judgment. It's in understanding the bigger picture, thinking about security, and having a vision for the future of the project. It seems the human edge isn't about being the fastest coder anymore, it's about being the smartest. Definitely something to chew on.